distinguished panelists and respected guests. All of you are sitting here are scholars and intellectuals, but above all, passionate human beings who want to save another human being from being the victim of a genocide. I don't know how many of you are related to any of the photographs shown here or there. I'm the only person probably who is related to two of the photographs. You'll see a brick field where bodies are lying. It's written Hindu intellectuals are killed. I have already talked to the organizers that my father was a Muslim. He was a Muslim doctor, eye doctor, one of the best in India and Bangladesh. No, he wasn't killed in the initial part of the war. He was killed he was picked up. His name was enlisted. He was picked up from his home by the collaborators, al-Badrs of the Pakistani army. On the 15th of December, when surrender was already negotiated. On the 16th, there will be surrender. On the 16th morning, just as the sunrise on a victorious Bangladesh, Victory Day, 16th December was coming up, my father's life was ending. I don't come here as a scholar. I haven't written books. I'm not a journalist. What I'll tell you from the perspective of a victim's daughter. I'm the daughter of a victim of genocide, so I speak from my blood. Three million people were killed, not 200,000, not 400,000. The worst thing for a genocide victim or the families of a genocide victim is to see that the genocide is forgotten and Bangladesh genocide is won. But worst still is when it is misrepresented, and especially when misrepresented favoring the perpetrators. Pakistan would like you to forget it. That is what they say in Bangladesh. Let us move on. Past is past. Bygone is bygone. We are Muslim brothers. You killed my father. You did not ask for apology. You did not pay our dues, shares. You have not faced the criminal court. We have not received justice. There is no healing unless there is a closure. I'm a doctor. A wound will only heal if it is closed properly. Pakistan would have you forget it. But worse yet, if you remember, because my friends do remember, India remembers, because you have 16,000 Indian soldiers martyred in our war. They are our freedom fighters. They are our martyrs, and we salute them. So you will occasionally remember. But because the voice of the perpetrator is so strong, even our friends utter the numbers wrong. Even our friends describe the scenario wrong. It hurts. It deeply hurts. You'll see a girl's picture outside, Purnima. She's my friend. She was raped, and now during the election crisis in 2001, she's an activist now. She's an activist in Nirmul Committee, where I'm the Assistant General Secretary. But if you portray it from a perpetrator's aspect, you are doing a great disservice to the victims. If you remember, then Pakistan would want you to remember that only some 27,000, at best some 100,000 people were killed. They were Hindus, and they were collaborating with India for a separate country. It was a separatist movement. Or at best, they would want you to understand it was a civil war. It was not. Take it from a national hero's daughter. Take it from a martyr's daughter. It was not a separatist movement. In 1970s election, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman won, not only here in East Pakistan, Dida in East Pakistan, but also some seats over there. So he was the majority leader. He was the legitimate prime minister. So when, on the 25th, there was no law and order situation. So on the 7th, Bangabandhu gave a brilliant speech. We knew it was a great signal, but he did not actually ask for a separatist land. No, he did not. He called for, like a Gandhi, he stood up and called for non-cooperation. We were not abiding by the Pakistani law because ours should have been the legitimate government. Then, on the 25th, when the crackdown began, when Mujibnagar Sarkar then formed in April, when Bangabandhu called for independence, then Mujibnagar Sarkar became the legitimate government of Bangladesh. It wasn't a separatist movement. It was a legitimate war of independence of a victorious, democratically elected majority people by the democratically elected head. All the participants of Mujibnagar Sarkar were our elected members. They were elected in a free and fair election. And that, by forming that, and declaration of independence, Pakistan becomes an occupying force. We were never a separatist movement. We were never a civil war. It was a war of independence, and I want my friends here to narrate our story like it was in fact. Also, Pakistan would, if you remember, they would want you to forget, but if you remember, please remember it was only 26,000. No, it wasn't. How come? As if killing 10 people is any worse than killing 10,000 people. One life is 100%. 10,000 people is no more important than one person. Every life matters. And in the definition of genocide, no matter how many people you kill, but when you kill for a reason like ethnicity, religion, whatever, with the intention of eliminating that group of people, it's genocide. But then again, they would want you to believe it was the Hindus they were trying to kill. No. They were trying to eliminate Bengalis, Bangali. We were all fighting for a land, free land for the Bengalis. They weren't only, they would want you to believe that. They want that narration. Unfortunately, even our friends say that narration. If you say they were killing only Hindus, then they give a color of religion in it. No. I'll give you a list of intellectuals that were picked up, not randomly killed, picked up, enlisted and picked up. Majority were Muslims. Yes, they were Hindus, but there were Christians as well and Buddhists as well. So they would want you to believe that the Hindus who collaborated with India, that's why we had to stamp down on these miscreants. No, these were legitimately elected Bengali people, irrespective of their religion, stood up for a free land so that they can call their mother in their own tongue, Ma. Please do not let anybody misrepresent our history. When you talk about genocide, always stand with the victims. When you say that there were 6 million Jews were killed, do you go to find the registry where it was written? Do you even ask for a registry, or do you ask the Germans for their version? So in our case, why do you want to minimize the number? And again, by minimizing number, does it minimize the crime? It doesn't. 3 million of Bangladeshis were killed. I want our friends in India to know this number. 3 lakh shohid. This is what we called. And this is what the world should call. But world prefers to forget. There was a international conference. They were talking about rape as a victim, as a tool of a weapon of war. Not a mention of the women that were raped. Not only Hindu women, again. Muslims, I know. I mix with them. I work in a platform that is formed by the widows, the rape victims, the Mukti Jodhas. I speak from personal experience. When you distort and propagate what our perpetrators want the world to know, then they are empowering the perpetrators, and you are dampening the already feeble voice of our victims. Victims' voice needs to be heard, and the story of any genocide needs to be told from the victim's point of view. Any story of any genocide needs to be told from the point of view of the victim. Another thing, if you walk around here and see the pictures, you'll think as if in Bangladesh, the Hindus are persecuted all the time. If this is the picture you portray, then you are alienating the secular force that are trying so hard to keep the country in a secular path. You will empower those who want you to believe that there is anarchy and wants Bangladesh to fail. Purnima happened in BNP Jamaat's era. Who is BNP Jamaat? Jamaat is formed by the war criminals. BNP also has the war criminals. These are the parties that came after the killing of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. After that, Zia formed BNP, and this BNP Jamaat is now alliance that propagates the religious extremist political system that is Bangabandhu's daughter, Sheikh Hasina, is trying so hard to fight. So then you'll ask me, then Sheikh Hasina has been in power since 2008, there is 2012, 2014. See the numbers during all election time. Then BNP Jamaat again comes back with their aggression. But not only against the Hindus. That is something I want to tell you. Humayun Azad, our progressive leader, he was killed. In Boi Mela, he was chopped. Dipon Prokashok, a publisher of books, he was killed. It is another form of intellectual killing, irrespective of religion. Yes, some of them, Hindus, of course, but also anybody who is a free thinker, or by whom? That element that killed my father. Because why? Why is Pakistani army still doing the same thing they did in East Pakistan in Balochistan? Why are Jamaat still doing this religious extremism? Because they were never brought to justice. This is the most important point for genocide victims. The perpetrators must be brought to justice. Pakistan needs to be tried. The generals, Pakistani generals who killed and maimed in East Pakistan went back to their country, and they were not tried, they were not punished. Now look, they are again doing it to another part of their country. Jamaat was not tried. Bangabandhu started 72 tribunals. He was killed in 75. And after that, who came to power? I saw my father's killer being the minister. There was prime minister, president, Rajakars, Al-Badrs, Pakistani collaborators for 21 years. That is the narrative they want you to believe. And that is what they created. But then Bangabandhu's daughter came. And she's trying so hard. And Bangladesh, I tell you categorically, is maybe a Muslim majority country. Yes, we are a Muslim majority country, but we are secular country. That is what we strive to be. That is why 30 lakh people laid down their life for a secular, democratic, progressive country, Bengal, Sonar Bangla. That's what we fought for, and we'll fight till our death to keep it secular. But we need our friends to appreciate our effort. We need our friends to see beyond the propaganda and give us support. You need to help us get recognition for our genocide. The larger community, global community, still do not recognize Bangladesh genocide as a genocide. Why do you think that is? Because Pakistan is the lucky country that had the support of not only the Western countries, Kissinger and Nixon, but also the Islamic countries and also China. The globe was behind Pakistan, but we fought. We fought with our not three rifles. India, of course, was a good friend, but they came in quite late, in December. We fought. Our farmers, our laborers, our students, they fought and formed Mukti Bahini. I was present when General JKUF was given that Liberation War honor. I was an anchor of that show. And he came and saluted Mukti Bahini and said they were cornered, all the Pakistani army in certain pockets, and all we had to do was run, get Dhaka, ensure Dhaka's fall, and everything fell. He was giving credit to Mukti Bahini. Our friends need to realize what we went through. And still, the world do not recognize us. And even those who do, somehow are so influenced by the propaganda that that misrepresentation of our history is there. That is a gross. You are victimizing us all over again. You have to tell the story of Bangladesh from our point of view. How we suffered in ground, only we know. What happened then, how hard we are trying, what a credit it is to Sheikh Hasina, our honorable Prime Minister, just to keep this country on a secular path. How much risk she has taken on her life to try our war criminals. Nobody wanted that. You've heard the phones she received from all across the globe. As if America, the terrorists in America are Islamic terrorists, but our terrorists are Muslim clerics. That's what Pakistan would want you to believe. But you need to talk about, genocide cannot be partial. When you talk about genocide, you cannot be partial. It has to be fair, no matter what the religion is, no matter what the nationality is, what the color is, not who the perpetrator is. So whoever the perpetrator, point that out, and that perpetrator must be brought to justice, wherever it is happening. Why? Why do we need to think back about 50 years back event in Bangladesh? Who cares? Otherwise, Balochistan will happen. After that, some part very near to you. We have to teach the future generations what is right and what is wrong, what is crime and what is humanity, what is genocide and what is a common fellow feeling of humanity, human being. Let us rise above our cultural and our religious boundaries. I agree with Bob Blackman. No religion is at fault. If you point your finger to any religion, what you're doing is you are alienating the friends within the religion. All actually deeply religious people should be very humane, very peace-loving. And that's something that all religion says. Do not believe those who misrepresent their religion. That is not the true Islam. That is not true Buddhism. They are doing the same with Rohingyas. No. That is, violence is not the face of Hinduism. No. Religion promotes love and peace. It is we who distort the text. We take it out of the context and use it for our benefit. Remember, Pakistan was Muslim. They killed a Muslim majority East Pakistanis. So it's not the religion, but it is the greed, the criminality of the perpetrators. Let us pinpoint what the actual fault is. Let us not blame religion. Let us not blame a certain people. Let us blame when it comes to Bangladesh genocide, blame Pakistani generals, Pakistani army and their collaborators, Al-Badr Jamaat. When it comes to Rohingya, blame the Myanmar and their armies and their generals. Proper identification of the perpetrator and bringing them to justice will only ensure that genocide will not happen somewhere else again. As long as the perpetrators go free, there will be, after East Pakistan, Balochistan, and there will be one after the another. Even some of our children will be perpetrators because they will not know any better, because we never stood up. We were bogged down by our bigotry, our partiality, and we never stood up. Let us form a global alliance of free thinkers and not blame each other, but blame only the perpetrator. Let us, from Bangladesh, I would like to say, please work to get our genocide recognized, and please help us please support us internationally when we are trying our war criminals. We will also try the generals of Pakistan. We want Pakistan to apologize to us. We want our the share of the treasure, the money that was due to us. But at the same time, we want that every child in the world will know our history, so that never again a genocide like ours happens, and never again a victim's daughter has to stand in front of you and correct your mistakes. Thank you.